Hey everybody, welcome back to Vibrations and Libations. I'm James.
And I'm Keith.
Tonight we're listening to an awesome rock band from the this album was released in 1970, and their name is Free, and the album is Fire and Water. So if you say, well, I've never heard of Free, but that voice sounds a little bit familiar. Who did this singer sing for also?
Bad Company.
Bad Company, that's right.
Paul Rogers.
Yep. If you remember, we did, I think it was Bad Company that we did the light beer challenge with.
Right.
So tonight, kind of a coincidence here, I guess, we're going to do a whiskey challenge tonight. So it's the holidays coming up soon for Thanksgiving, well, we've already passed Thanksgiving, I'm sorry, Christmas and New Year's. And so I was thinking, a lot of people are going to be going to parties, Christmas parties for work, or maybe for family, or maybe for friends, and you want to take something, but you can't really spend a whole lot of money. Maybe you're on a budget, or maybe there's just that one person that's going to, bogart the whole thing that you take. So all of these whiskeys that we have here tonight, they're all under $15, and they're all 750 milliliter bottles. And we're going to start out with a very old Barton. And then we have just the regular Jim Beam, nothing fancy about it. And then we have a Canadian whiskey, and it's Rich and Rare Reserve. So we'll get into some prices on these things here in a minute. But first, let's talk about some of this music that we're listening to.
Well, as James said, released in 1970, but I believe it was recorded in the spring of '69.
Okay.
And it's Free's third studio album and considered their breakthrough album. It's the album which they hit it big with. Yeah. I believe they played the Isle of Wight Festival after this album and everything, and it reached number 2 on the UK album chart, right. Number 17 on the US album chart at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And had the one single. What is the single, James? I can't think of it.
All Right Now, I think that's
Right
it.
Now.
It's it's a classic rock song. You're going to hear that on every classic rock station from one side of the country to the other. Really good song. Not my favorite song on the album, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So, would you like to name the rest of the songs, or would you like me to do that?
I'll do it.
All right,
you do it.
You want me to do it?
Go ahead, James.
All right.
Go ahead, do it.
So the other songs that are on this song is playing is Fire and Water, Oh I Wept, Remember, Heavy Load, Mr. Big, Don't Say You Love Me, and of course the big single release, All Right Now. So, there's a lot of really good, I won't say hard rock, but I would say some rocking songs on this. It's kind of mellow, kind of bluesy.
Right.
Really a good mix of that era's rock and roll. So
it's so soulful. It's probably one of the most soulful albums that I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, through and through, it's just heart and soul.
Yeah, and Paul Rogers' vocals on it are outstanding. Of course, his voice is just great. And
he could sing the phone book.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was given this record. This is actually Keith's copy, but I have a copy also. And it was given to me, and I was like, man, I don't really know much about them. I don't know if I want to, put it on the turntable and listen to it right now. And I had it for a couple of weeks before I put it on, and then I put it on. And I called Keith. I'm like, have you heard of this band? And Keith's like, hell yeah, I've got that album. It rocks. I'm like, fuck yeah, it rocks. It's like a little gem I knew nothing about, and it was just sitting in my room for a couple of weeks. I wish I had put it on first. So it's good to find those albums, especially if somebody gives it to you. But it's good to find those albums that you don't know much about. Maybe you've never heard a whole lot of the songs on it, and then boom, it just opens your eyes. And you're like, right. Shit, where have I been?
Well, Donnie Alvey, that we haven't mentioned in a long time, is like, hey, listen to this shit. He's like, this is badass. And I was like, oh, it's Bad Company. And he's like, no,
right,
it's Free. And I was like, what?
Right.
And I thought All Right Now was Bad Company.
I did too.
For years. Too. But now that I play back through Monsters of Rock,
yeah,
everybody's seen those Monsters of Rock ads that scroll through the screen, probably on a Saturday or a Sunday, and you know, there's monsters of rock now.
Right.
And I can remember seeing Free by All Right Now.
Yeah.
In my subliminal mind.
I remember seeing those commercials along with Miss Cleo and all the, you know, sex chat numbers that used to come on USA Up All Night with Gilbert Godfrey.
How many times did you call that?
Well, let's just say back then they didn't have cell phones, so those would have been, I would have been a lot younger then, so I didn't call any of them. Yeah, $9.99 a minute. Whatever, each additional minute, I don't know. Yeah. But anyhow,
it's probably 99 cents.
That's a different episode altogether. So
yeah.
All right, so let's break into our holiday specials here. How about it?
Which one are we gonna do first?
Let's start off with north of the border, and let's try the Canadian whiskey, the Rich and the Rare Reserve. So
the Canadians, where it's really free.
Yeah, really free up there.
Oh, what did they just legalize up there?
I think they legalized certain herb, maybe the marijuana, possibly for recreational
I think
use.
you can take 1 or 2 marijuanas in Canada now. Better be careful, kids.
They may not stop you at customs. I don't know, or they may. Okay, so the only, I guess, Canadian whiskey I've ever had is Crown Royal. Is that a Canadian whiskey?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but
I'm not a Crown Royal fan.
I'm not either. All right, so I'm smelling this, and
I don't smell anything.
It's a little light on the senses there. Okay, well. All right, I'm not going to say it's smooth. I am going to say it reminds me of when my teenage daughter is doing her fingernails. It has a nail polish remover hint to it. Now, again, we're not talking about fine bourbon or whiskey here by any means. These were all under $15. The let's see here, the Rich and Rare was $12.99 for this bottle. So, and it was on the bottom shelf. So, if you're looking at bottom shelf bourbons, this is it. Now, if you want to take this to a party and watch somebody get shit-faced on it, it may be okay. I don't know, but I'm not going to keep it in my personal collection. Put it that way.
Nobody's going to say this is good. It's uninteresting, flat, and flavorless.
It almost tastes like water with a little bit of burn to it. I would say water with hints of kerosene notes to give it just a little bit of burn on the back of your tongue. I'm not in on it. So if this is something you'd be interested in taking to a party and you don't care if everybody drinks it, go for it. It would be okay in Coke.
It's not even woody.
No, it's not. I don't know how they age their stuff. Don't know anything about it. But
I'm curious. What's it say?
Okay, you read, and then again, like I said, this is all under $15 right here. So
distilled in Canada, eh?
Hey.
In small batches and aged patiently in hand-picked oak barrels. So it was aged in an oak barrel. Rich and Rare Reserve delivers a distinctive smoothness, unparalleled elegance. And no,
I'm gonna say it's definitely unparalleled. I'll give it that.
It's not smooth. That shit wasn't fucking smooth.
Okay, so still, the best thing from Canada, in my opinion, is the band Rush. I was hoping to maybe break through on something here, but no, this one's a no. We'll put it in the back. We're not even going to.
What about Jim Carrey?
Still, I like Rush. They're an awesome band. Okay, so now we're going to go with some Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey right here. This is the world famous Jim Beam.
You're going to pour mine for me,
I'm going to pour Keith. I'm going to pour mine. And we'll see how this goes. Now, I am a fan of Jim Beam. I like Jim Beam Black. The Red Stag is pretty good. I like it in a cola, like a Coke or maybe a Dr. Pepper. As far as just drinking it straight, we'll see what this is like compared to the other that we just had here. Alright, so definitely a difference in taste I think it's a bit smoother. It doesn't have the burn. Maybe a little bit more woody taste. Maybe a little bit.
This is Jim Beam is from Kentucky, by the way.
Right, from Kentucky.
We're sitting in Kentucky right now.
Yes.
In case you didn't know.
I will say that this is definitely better than the Canadian. There's more of a smell to it.
There's a smell, there's a nose.
Yep.
It smells, I don't know, a little bit sweeter, a little richer smell. The color is just a little bit darker. Oh yeah, definitely more woody.
Yep.
A lot better.
Right.
What's the price comparison?
Okay, so again, the Rich and Rare Reserve, it was, let me find it here again. Okay, so it was $12.99. Now the Jim Beam was $14.98, so it just comes in under the $15 top that we had for the budget on the bottles. Again, these are all 750 milliliter bottles, and prices may vary, you know, wherever you're at versus where we are. But this, you know, we're in Kentucky, so we are probably able to get Kentucky bourbon a little bit cheaper than other places.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't go to different states buying bourbon to check prices, but
hey,
again,
if you go to your local liquor store and see these two, tell us. Leave a comment.
Yeah, how much?
Let us know. That's interesting.
Right.
That's an interesting bit.
All right, so try the very old Barton now. Or are you still going to listen on that?
Let's do the very old.
Okay, very old Barton. Okay. So we agree that this one is just out of contention, right?
Right.
Okay.
I mean, the Jim Beam slams it to the floor.
Yes. Okay. All right. So again, very old Barton, another Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. This is bottled by Barton Distillery, the distilling company, Frankfort, Kentucky. Again, 750 milliliters.
With Jim Beam.
Neighbors, yeah. 86 proof. So this is stronger proof-wise than the Jim Beam and the Canadian, the Rich and Rare that we had. These were both 80.
Can I make a prediction?
Make a prediction.
I predict that it's going to be hotter.
Okay, that's interesting. Go. You need a little bit more, Keith. You're here. I have to drive tonight.
I'm at home.
All right, so very old Barton.
Oh man,
What's the smell?
the Jim Beam smells better.
Jim Beam smells better. Okay. Color-wise, I don't know. It's kind of coppery, but kind of
the same as the Jim Beam. I got some left in there. A little bit darker.
okay. Darker than a Jim Beam.
A little bit.
Okay. All right. Woo-hoo!
Did I tell you it was going to have more bite?
That one's got a little bit more bite to it. I won't say that it's bad.
Wait a minute.
All right.
You said it had more bite, but I think it's more smooth.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't know. It hits the back of my mouth a little bit different than the Jim Beam does. Maybe the after of it, the finish of it's a little bit more smoother. But when it first hit me, that first drink, it was kind of strong. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say on the very old Barton. I'm going to say it's good. It's not something I would go out and look for to buy. I would definitely drink it with a cola, whether that be like a ginger ale or Coke, Dr. Pepper, something like that. I'm going to drink it mixed in something. Maybe not too bad. Make an old fashioned with, possibly. I wouldn't just sit and just sip on this. Now, again, I'll say is not high priced bourbon. This bottle, if I didn't already say it, was $10.49 for the very old Barton.
My opinion.
Okay.
With that price, I think it's better than the Jim Beam.
Really?
In my opinion. I do. I think it's more mellow. It's subtle. It kind of flutters on the tongue instead of.
Okay. You just like it better.
I like it better.
Okay.
I think it's more smooth than the Jim Beam.
And better than
Oh yeah.
Canadian. Okay, so
Leeds better.
hey, the Canadian goes under the table. We're not even going to bother with that. So, all right. So given the two, you would buy not just because of price, but because of taste also.
Right.
You would buy the very old Barton. Okay. I would probably stick with the Jim Beam. I think the Barton's a little bit spicier, got a little bit more of a spicy kind of kick to it than the Jim Beam does. And again, I would just drink it. I would drink it, but I would want to make sure there's a Coke or something. Now, the good thing in this whole scenario here is that you're going to be taking it to a party, and a lot of people will just drink whiskey and Coke, you know? So, hey, with that all night long, just sipping on it, I would rather sip on the Jim Beam than the very old Barton. But either one are good with a mixed drink, I would think. So, all right. So more about this album.
This is my favorite song on the album.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And this is what is this? Heavy Load.
Heavy Load.
This is Heavy Load. Okay. So my favorite song on the album is Remember.
Is it Remember?
It is Remember. Yes.
Well, my second favorite is Mr. Big.
Okay.
And then third is All Right Now. I really like All Right Now.
I like it.
But all the songs are
they're
magnificent.
It's a solid album from start to finish. I mean, you find this at like I said, I was given this. Keith found this. Did you find it online or a record store? I don't remember where you.
I bought it online.
Okay, so he bought it online. But if you find this at a record store or if you can find it online, either way, and good price for it, go for it. If it's in good shape and it's got a good cover to it, it's an older copy. I would say a good price be $7-8. Right. I think it's fair.
I gave $10 for mine.
So it's
$10 shipped.
Yeah, and it's got a really nice cover from what I can tell on it. So and it's an older copy, of course. But so if you see it, pick it up and buy it. I think you'll be happy with it. It's a great album, great rock and roll album. That I just said to myself, first time I heard it, where in the hell have I been at? Because I've never even heard of this album, So
right, I was on whenever I just Donnie told me about this album. I was on a Bad Company kick. I was buying every Bad Company album I could find, and I couldn't get enough. And then Donnie played this. I was like, holy fuck! I'm missing out on a whole other.
Yeah, a whole other branch of music there with
with Paul Rogers and this man. It's just so mellow and soothing. It's like pillowy, like I described the Brotherhood. It tucks you in. It takes such good care of you.
Yeah, it's good music. I also have their album Free at Last, and it rocks too. It's a great album too. I've listened to it a few times since I bought it. It's awesome.
So what, in the line of free albums, where does that one lie? Do you know? I
think this one, as far as released,
right.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where in order of release dates. I'm not sure when it's released. I do like this album better than that one, than Free at Last.
Right.
But it's still a good album. It's still a good listen. So we're going to flip this over here. All right, so Keith has flipped this over, and so we're playing the second side now. The first song on the second side is it Mr. Big?
Yes.
Mr. Big. That is, honestly, Keith said it was one of his favorite songs. It's probably one of my least favorite songs on it. Still a rocking song.
Why? Why is it your least favorite?
I don't know. I don't know. I like I said, Remember is my favorite song on it. Fire and Water is my second favorite. And then, I don't know, I guess maybe All Right Now comes in if I had to pick a third. It probably comes in there somewhere. But
that's weird.
Mr. Big is just not.
Well.
Yeah, I bought this on iTunes as well, so I have it on my phone. And when this song comes on, I'm sorry, but I just kind of skip over this song.
It's the most bluesy, I think. It's like
it
so
is. It's
like
kind of you're right.
It's the most. It's so weighty. It's heavy.
I think it's the break right before they go into the chorus that turns me off on it. And I don't know why. His voice is awesome. Like right there, it just, I don't know, something about it just kind of.
I like that pause.
You
I
like
that. It's like anticipation.
You like the very old Barton, I like the Jim Beam, so we have some differences here,
You're a fucking weirdo. That's what we've all discovered tonight, folks.
Hey, I do own the Milli Vanilli record, and I do like TV on the radio, and he does not, so. Weirdo over here. All right. Well, anyway, back to drinking some bourbon.
What'd you pour? What'd you
The
re-pour?
Jim Beam.
You re-pour.
Jim Beam, man. Also, if you've never been able to go on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, Jim Beam's a really nice place to go to tour their facilities. Maker's Mark is a really nice place. I would
How
also
come you never
suggest.
take me to these places, James?
This is before we started doing videos, Keith.
That's before we started dating.
Yeah, we weren't together back then. Also, a really neat place is Wild Turkey.
You've been to that too?
I've been to it twice.
You've been to Wild Turkey?
Yeah.
Me, Dave?
It's the Disneyland for bourbon drinkers, in my opinion. I really like Wild Turkey. I think they do a good job there.
James and I have a Wild Turkey history.
We grew up on Wild Turkey, so you know we do have a history with it. It's a long and storied history.
This one time you brought some rare breed over to my house.
We need to do some rare breed one
Oh
night.
yeah. He's like, man, you gotta try this.
Was that the same night you had the 12-year-old Wild Turkey? Or was that a different night?
I don't know. I bought that 12-year-old, didn't I?
I think you did, yeah. On one of those nights, I ended up in face down snow trying to smoke a cigarette, and they had to come pick me up. So it was a bad night. A good night, but a bad night.
Every night is a toss-up.
All right. So what else have we got to say about the album? Anything else to say?
Nothing else.
Okay. I'll say go buy it. Go get it today.
We gotta rate it. We gotta rate.
Write it or rate it?
Rate.
Oh, okay. So
I
the very
think
old
the
Barton
bourbon
is
is hidden.
between that and the Hop Slam that you had earlier.
Right.
10% out the Hop Slam over there. Okay, so you want me to rate it first or you want to go first?
You go first.
Okay, I'm going to rate this album. But before I do, I want to say go out and buy
We're
it.
gonna
if you
pause
find
for
it.
these commercial breaks.
Go out and find it and buy it. Buy it on iTunes, whatever you gotta do. Get the CD, just get it. It's a great album. If you're a classic rock fan, you need to get it. I'm gonna rate it a 4 out of 5.
Why just 4 out of 5, James?
Because that's what I want to rate it. It's got Mr. Big on it, and I'm not a huge Mr. Big fan.
This is Mr. Big playing right now, folks. Listen. Be quiet, James. Listen to that thing. 4 out of 5, James.
4 out of 5. That's right. That's what I rated. Because of Mr. Big.
And Mr. Big is what we're listening to right now, folks.
That is what we're listening to right now. It's got a good bass line to it. I'll give it that.
You hear that bass line?
I hear it, and it's badass. But they could have put this song like at the end of the album.
It's perfect where it is. 5 out of 5 for me. And
all right.
what about the bourbon, James?
Okay. All right. So
we're not rating the bourbon, are we?
We're not rating the bourbon
Because it is what it is.
Yeah. So the Canadian whiskey, we're no. I'm not going to suggest buying that. I would suggest buying these two, but I would suggest the Jim Beam over the very old Barton. That's my opinion.
And I would say you're wrong. The very
And
old
you would be
Barton.
wrong.
The very old Barton is more smooth and better for the price. What is it? $3-4 difference?
$4 difference, I think it was. Yeah. This was I think $10.49. Yeah, $10.49, and then the Jim Beam was $14.98 for the bottle.
So the very old Barton, like James said, is the best
No.
for your money.
Well, if I was going to buy the two, I'd spend the extra money and buy the Jim Beam. So there you go. For your money, the Jim Beam is the better deal because it tastes better.
Right. The very old Barton is the best because...
We could go on all night
Right.
and drink both these bottles and be drunk, but
But we're not going to go on all night
We're not.
because
you don't want to see that.
we're going to let you guys go.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go figure out something to do for a Christmas episode
Yeah.
because it is the holidays.
It is the holidays, yeah. So as we figure out something to listen to for the Christmas holidays, you go out and buy some bourbon, enjoy all your holiday parties. We'll be back, hopefully several times before Christmas. So until then, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, comment down below, down in here somewhere, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. We appreciate you doing all those things. Where else can they find us at?
Twitter.
Twitter. Instagram, Facebook. Who knows? Where else we might be in the future?
We're all over the place.
Yeah.
We might be in your backyard right now looking in your window.
It's possible.
Creepy.
Yeah. Anyway.
We're creepers.
So, for Vibrations and Libations, I'm James.
I'm Keith.
Thanks for watching, guys. Have a happy holiday season.
Feliz Navidad.
That's premature. It's not Christmas yet. It's not the Christmas episode, folks.
There's no eggnog here, just bourbon.
It's a good eggnog, though.
Yeah. We will. What are we going to do eggnog wise?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We need to figure that
Maybe
out.
we need to buy like non-alcoholic eggnog at the store and compare it to my eggnog. Because my eggnog is the champion.
Your eggnog was some good shit.
It was fucking
It
good.
was really, really good. Really good. Oh, maybe we need somebody to taste test the two, store-bought versus yours.
I don't know. I mean, we're
That would suck if they chose the store-bought though over yours.
No, they
It was
wouldn't.
more smooth, but that shit wasn't fucking smooth.
Right.